covered so many of her court cases over the years, and just the trials and tribulations of Katie Price, and I wouldn't put it past her to not turn up again. She was first declared bankrupt back in 2019. She owed her creditors £3.2 million, failed to pay any of them back, and then she was declared bankrupt for a second time in March of this year because she'd run up a £760,000 tax bill. She's not paid any of her creditors a penny, despite coming to some deals which meant that she had to pay them. And she's also in that time had a mucky mansion, her notorious mucky mansion, repossessed as well. So yeah, it's just all sort of spiraled into this. She's just not basically paid any of her debts, but she's still going away on lavish holidays. So she's clearly getting money from somewhere, and the courts are trying now to basically force her to hand over some money. Part of the agreement that was made a few months ago meant that she'd have to pay back 40% of her earnings. She'd be forced to give. That's from things like OnlyFans, a PAP agency who she's got a deal with, and various other people and means of getting money. She's got to give over 40% of that now, but whether that's even happened yet, well, it clearly hasn't, because she owes 12 creditors all sorts of sums of money, and none of them have received a penny. So yeah, that tells you everything, I think. Yeah, so there was one a few months ago, and then this one last Tuesday, the 30th of July, I think it was. She'd basically been warned before that she could be in contempt of court, which is a serious offence. You could be jailed for it, and she was warned that before. She'd the last hearing, that was it. She was in Cyprus, sunning it up. The sun on Sunday had exclusive pictures of her there, enjoying her time on her sunbed. And then, yeah, fast forward to last week, she'd literally stepped on a plane a few hours before she was meant to be at the High Court in London, and a judge issued a warrant for her arrest, and she's just essentially laughing in the face of justice. She's gone to Turkey claiming that she's there for work. She's taken a small film crew with her, a photographer to make sure it's all photographed along the way, as well as her son Harvey, who's obviously severely disabled, her boyfriend JJ Slater, and she went with a couple of other friends as well. And while she was there, the Sun on Sunday, I'd suggested to the news desk that we go over there to try to front her up and ask her why she thinks it's acceptable to basically behave the way that she is, and just thinking that she's above the law. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually able to get on that trip. I was going away myself, but my colleague Andy Robinson and Louis Wood, the photographer, they went over together, and yeah, lo and behold, she wasn't working very hard when they saw her. She was lying on a sunbed post facial surgery, so she had a towel over her face, and they asked her, everything that you would ask her in that situation. Why are you here? Why aren't you at court when you're meant to be? And she took it upon herself to then start recording them, put it on her social media, making out as though she's the victim in all this, when really she should have been at court days before that. Yeah, so obviously she's been under the knife many a time, but she had her sixth facelift, it was, which cost 10 grand, whether she paid that or had some kind of deal with the surgeon who did it, I don't know, to promote the surgery, I'm not sure. But yeah, she basically turned up looking a bit worse for wear, with a big black sort of facial protective surgical headgear, I suppose. When she got off the plane, she was met by some police officers, and she was then led through and then pictured later in the back of a police van, taking a few deep drags on a vape, which she probably needed in that situation. And yeah, she was kept in the cells for, we believe, a few hours, but then she was actually bailed in the middle of the night by an out-of-hours magistrate. And then there was a bit of a hoo-ha at court this morning. Will she turn up or won't she? And in the end, yeah, the case got put back to 2 p.m, and she then appeared by video link. Quite a strange setup, because she's essentially had to answer her bail. So she went into custody at the Royal Courts of Justice, but the court was sitting at a building just 5 minutes round the corner called the Rolls Building. So she appeared via video link. She didn't have any legal representation, and yeah, she still had the headgear on when she arrived at court with her sunglasses on, which I think she took off for the hearing, which was very brief, but she was essentially told that she had two undertakings that she had to comply with, otherwise she'd be arrested again, and they were that she's got to attend court at the Rolls Building on August the 27th, and she also has to hand over documents to the trustees' lawyers when they ask for the documents. So she agreed to do so, and then she was officially discharged from custody to return on August the 27th. She did say that she doesn't want to appear in court in person, and that she wants to appear over video link because she doesn't like coming into court. He basically said, look, no more holidays, no going abroad. You've got to be there on August the 27th. And then I think he was getting a bit short with her. She basically was saying, she wanted to make an application to appear via video link at the next hearing, and she basically was asking, how do I do this? I've not got legal representation, because she said that she'd been quoted £50,000 up front by a lawyer to help her out, and the judge said, look, that should only take 500 quid from a solicitor. She kept asking, and then he eventually said, look, it doesn't take Einstein to work out what you need to do to put in this application. So yeah, he was giving her short shrift. We'll see. I don't know if will she or won't she appear. She's, I've covered so many of her court cases over the years, and just the trials and tribulations of Katie Price, and I wouldn't put it past her to not turn up again, but you'd like to think that she might take it seriously now after going through what she went through last night. That can't have been a nice experience, but this is Katie Price that we're talking about, who no one would be surprised if she doesn't turn up there on August the 27th.